Hello everyone, welcome back. Episode 2 on the Ropes podcast with Big Bradley. Brilliant haircut. We love it.
Brilliant haircut.
Other...
Thank you.
As always.
I'm always here. You didn't really have to introduce me. Is that is this the first time people are going to see the haircut other than stuff like or did you have it with your stream?
I did it on a live stream last night.
Oh, you did, yeah, okay. I did wonder.
Yeah, okay,
I thought this might be a bit of a shock when people are like, Brad does banter, and they click on it and they go, that's fucking not him.
I mean, mate, at this point, I've fucking shared my head. This is the first time now, you know what I mean? So it's... At this point, people won't be too shocked, because I'm just always doing it for money. When it comes my way, I'm just like, yeah, take it off. Yeah. They're not even asking for the hair. Like, oh, money, go on then. Get it off.
I always just love it now in your streams, the fact that you don't pay attention to people unless they donate like £2. You're like, nah.
Mate, it's the easiest way to do it.
It works, to be fair. It does work.
How do you think he's here?
To be fair.
Yeah, so basically, we haven't got too many deep questions. I mean, deep, we haven't actually got any because that's fucking sad and boring. But, yeah, pretty much. Adam wanted to do the first question because he's cute and adores you, so...
Well, yeah.
So, loud fat man.
Yeah. Why do they like my dad so much? He's a big bald fat man.
I was going to say, Danny DeVito's got fans, has he not?
Well, yeah. Yeah. So I've always wondered for a while, because you've let like little things out about like you when you was younger, but not a whole lot. So I just wondering what life was like for you when you were like, say, like a lot, like 12 upwards. Do you know what I mean?
Well, if we're talking, I mean, my life was very different from being a child to my my teenage years. So if we're talking me being a child, like up until about 11, 10, whatever, I was seeing my dad half the time and also seeing my mum half the time. My dad's a bit of a notorious guy, right? He's a drug dealer. He was
classic.
Yeah.
We've all got one of them in England.
Literally, but he was he was quite major in like the northwest. So my childhood was basically I saw a lot of things growing up, not like traumatic.
Yeah.
But I was just put under this place where there were people coming and going, and we were going 1 a.m. in the morning. We'd drive down to the bottom of the country so that my dad could do like a 20 grand delivery or something, and I was like experiencing this from like a young age. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then on my mum's side, honestly, fucking best mother you could ask for. Very tentative, very, is that the word? Very, you know, I got all the attention in the world, and I did from both sides, but that was a very softer environment, so it was very, it was two clashing sort of, you know, atmospheres that I was growing up around. And then when I got into my teenage years, it all went a bit sour for a little bit. I dropped out of school when I was like 14.
It's beat my record.
That's how I came to do you. What, did you drop out of school as well?
Yeah, 16 I was, yeah. I just binned it off, one for me.
No, it isn't for some people, mate, it really isn't.
No. Speaking about your mum, obviously, for people that have followed you for a while, it's quite clear how supportive she has been of you and your channel, especially when you were starting out early, because I always find, for me, when I was younger, trying to do YouTube and stuff, the idea of asking my parents to do something for me would be almost absurd. Like I don't think I'd ever had they'd never been against it, but they'd also never supported me in a sense of like your mum was almost like an on-screen character for you to an extent. How did that come about when you first started doing videos with her?
Well, my first proper video with her, I did a day in her life, it was called. And the first one I did, and we're going back almost 4 years ago now, it was like very early 2017, I think. So the first one I did, she wasn't actually, so she sort of built up this character in this video of like, she was very sort of pissed off with me, but it wasn't a character. It became a character, but it wasn't a character. I was genuinely filming my mum. Like, she was genuinely pissed off. She genuinely did not want to be filmed. Everything in that video was real. And then afterwards, I started sort of saying, right, just say this, call me a dickhead, blah, blah. Because afterwards, she got more on board with it. When she saw the video had like over 300,000 views, you know what I mean? And she saw that I was making an actual income. I was 17, because this is before I turned 18. It's before my 18th birthday. I was 17, making $2,000 a month. You know what I mean? So without any sort of education. So I think she was very worried for me. And then she sees me doing this. She sees me getting big off my passion as well, and she's like, "Fucking hell,
go for it, son."
Oh, yeah. I think that was why. I think because by the time I'd proved it was when I started incorporating her, and then obviously because I proved myself in that way, I've started doing it as a career. Then that's when she's just a bit more. In my opinion, that's why she was a bit more like that. Okay.
Yeah, we've heard a lot of stories through people we talk to and friends of our own who have done YouTube and got popular, and have all said their parents are always like, no. And then they see money and they're like, well, maybe there's something to this. Because I think a lot of people still think that YouTube is just a hobby. So they don't see of the financial stability that can come from it.
In fairness to my mum, and I will say this, I have made it out like she only started supporting me when she saw that I was successful. It is sort of true in a way, like she really backed it then. But that's more... She really backed her being in videos then, because she knew it would do something for me. But even before then, even when it was just a hobby, I'd come down and I'd be getting a few thousand views a video when I was doing like Minecraft shit, and I'd be like, oh, I'm doing this. She's like, that's mad, you know what I mean? And she was actually really supportive of it, because I think she had some sort of belief in me, which is silly to be fair, because YouTube is a lot about luck, but she didn't really understand it. So she had some belief in me that I was going to put my mind to it, and if I did that, then I'd succeed.
Well, because a lot of your like streams that you do, or you did when you were living with your mum, a lot of that was going towards your mum purely, wasn't it? Because I remember when you were first streaming on YouTube a little bit, you used to say that a lot of it was going towards her.
Yeah, I think I made it out like that for more money, to be honest, mate. No. Obviously, I sort my mum out big time, because my mum works, just above minimum wage in a factory. So, and like she obviously still does that. My mum's really skilled. She's a skilled hairdresser, and she's a trained counsellor as well. Like a therapist. But there's no work in either of those sort of environments. So she's just a grafter, mate. So I do help her out whenever I can, and obviously I do more so now. But when I was living at home, obviously it was just, I think I sort of spun that. That was me paying rent to her and paying more than that. But I think I sort of spun it as, I need to help out my mum.
I think realistically, even if you did do that as a minor little cash grab thing, I don't think anyone in their right mind would truly judge you for that, because when you become an adult, you realise money is fucking money. It doesn't matter how you get it, as long as you get it. Like,
money rules people's lives, mate. That's just how it is. And I think now with my audience as well, I think a lot of people. So I'm not like attracting a new audience. I'm sort of just, the people who have watched me continue to watch me. It's that sort of thing. So I think people have grown up with me. So the majority of people who watch me now are adults. You know what I mean? They are adults. They are people who maybe started watching 15, 16 and are now 18, 19, in excess of that, in the 20s even. So I think that understanding is there. Maybe a couple of years ago, I had to explain it more to people. I'm just like, look, I'm doing this for money. I need money to pay this, to pay that. But now it's not even something I have to explain, because everyone gets it. Everyone works. Everyone, you know what I mean? Yeah,
so as long as you know.
I remember I got in trouble in school when I was about 15. I was watching one of your videos at like lunchtime. We used to have like a lunchroom, like kids who in school. I wasn't very interactive. Didn't like talk to people.
The bullied kids.
Like yeah, pretty much. And I was sitting there watching one of your videos, and it was one of your BuzzFeed ones. And I think you called someone like a Malteser or something, and you like bellowed it. And the teacher just looked at me, and she was like, "What was that?" I was like, "It's just a video, I swear to God." She was like, just very insensitive, and it really. She gave me like a full week of after school detentions. I was like, it was funny. I was like, it was.
What, for watching me?
Yeah.
But that says a lot, doesn't it? Really?
What a bitch. How unwarranted?
She doesn't know me. No, something you brought up earlier that I wanted to talk to you about briefly is so it was only today, because there's a segment coming up that you'll see. We'll leave that for them. But basically, I was looking through a lot of your old videos. I didn't realise when Adam spoke to me about getting you on the podcast, I was like, Brad Does Banter, I know of him, he's quite cool, seen some of his videos, think he's quite funny. I actually went on your channel and went to oldest videos, only to realise you were a Minecraft YouTuber that I actually watched as a child. And that was so weird for me, because I remember the first thing I clicked on was, I'd just done it, scrolled through a couple and just saw Bad Lion UHC. And I've just gone, what the fuck? Because I still play that shit now, like myself. And then, so obviously, I thought you and Brad Does Minecraft, completely different people. So when I saw that back, I was just like, well, that's fucking ridiculous. But you were a different kind of Minecraft YouTuber, in my opinion, because you were one of the only people at the time who I would watch who would make Minecraft videos like that, but also their whole channel wasn't actually properly revolving around it, because you were doing your Q&As and things like that at the same time. So I feel like it's almost obvious that Minecraft wasn't the end goal or the whole goal. Like, was obviously the situation you're in now, I'm sure, isn't the one you were aiming for. But when you were doing those videos, did you always plan that eventually you would completely come off Minecraft and just go on to other things?
Before I answer that, did you play like MCSG?
Absolutely, all the time.
Yeah.
Still am, which is even worse. Fucking...
That's where. Do you know Chubbs on YouTube?
I actually don't know.
No, well, yeah. I don't know. He's got like 800,000. He quit a while ago, but that's where he came from as well. And,
wow!
One of my roommate. We all sort of met doing all of that.
That's
how we
pretty sick.
sort of met talking.
Sorry, you can continue.
Yeah. Going on to what you were saying. Yeah, I think I think I just liked doing these sort of IRL videos eventually. I sort of got into my element and I just liked doing that. Obviously, like you say, I was a different kind of YouTuber in many ways. I was a different kind of person when I did stuff like that, and YouTube definitely has moulded my personality big time. I mean, it's brought a lot of elements of my personality that were there when I was younger, 15, 16, 17, whatever. And but it's definitely brought certain elements out and put other elements back in. So YouTube definitely, I think with YouTube, my sort of journey on it, I changed as a person and then my content changed. So it wasn't necessarily like a plan of, okay, this is a plan of action, I'm going to do Minecraft, I'm going to do this. And it's sort of just, I went a bit like this and my personality went like that as well, and it sort of just took me away. Yeah. You get me? Like, my personality changed, as did my content. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually quite funny you mentioned meeting some of your real-life best friends through Minecraft, purely because MCSG is also where I met one of my best friends, who went to school with Adam, and is how I met Adam.
Oh, really?
So I met him through Minecraft as well, so technically that's why I know Adam as well.
The story behind us first talking is a bit fucked, but it's funny.
Go on.
What have you been told about that, Tay?
Have I spoke about it?
About when me and you first spoke on Bed Wars, what he was doing.
Bed Wars is elite, mate.
Bed Wars was elite. Oh, okay, no, so I briefly know, but was never informed the whole story.
Basically, right, I was over. We won't use his name because he might get a bit busy.
Stephen.
Yeah, we'll call him Stephen. I was sat there. I went around his house. His girlfriend was there, and I was sat there, and he goes. I was like, oh yeah, let me play Minecraft. I want to play some Minecraft. I think I was like 14, 15 or something like that. So I was sat there playing Bed Wars. He goes, oh, I'll get Tay on. I was like, who's Tay? He's like, oh, he's not my best mate. I forgot Minecraft. So alright. So I sat there talking to you. The layout of my mate's room was his desk was against the wall and his bed was like behind his desk.
Pretty much the same as mine.
So I was there playing away, chatting to Tay, laughing away, not knowing that my mate was behind me in the bed with his girlfriend, just getting tossed off.
Yeah, just was.
At one point, I turned around and he like kind of ducked, like very much, well, like dived under his covers. I was like, alright, whatever. So
whatever. Continued to play Minecraft.
It's just mad that that's our first interaction.
That's odd behaviour, that, innit?
Yeah, he is an odd fella. He very much.
What is it about your boy being in your room that you want to get your bird to fucking toss you off while he's there?
You know
what I mean? Like,
I personally don't
what's
think
you on about that situation.
I don't think I could. I don't think I could unless I was like steaming drunk. With anyone else in the room, I don't think I'd find it possible unless they were joining in. But nah, that's a bit odd.
That's a bit, yeah. Very fucking odd. Yeah. Oh, that's one question I wanted to ask. You have a really weird thing where you seem to have connections with a lot of bigger YouTubers, but people don't know about it. I'm pretty sure it's things people like Jackmate and that. I think he commented on your last video on your channel.
My connections really go far beyond him, mate.
I know.
Yeah, I am well connected. That sounds a bit fucking.
There was, however, a website with a page about you, just one of those YouTube wiki shit things. Yeah. Because I think Adam just clicked on it earlier, and it said something like friends consist of 2 people believable, and then and he's PewDiePie. Yeah. Are you actually friends with PewDiePie?
I don't speak to him anymore, but there was one point where I did speak to him quite a lot. He's in one of my videos.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
I'm trying to think of which video it is. He does, so he puts on a voice. He's in, I think it was a video about Scarce I did in like 2017, Scarce, whatever he's called, you know, the
yeah.
And PewDiePie pretended to be him, and but it was obvious that it was PewDiePie.
Yeah.
Or was it that? I don't know. It was like around that time, like 2016, 2017, I think is when he was in it. And PewDiePie. So it's a funny story about that. So I was good friends with a YouTuber called BradDoesBanter, and like really good friends. He used to
heard of him.
Because you did that like game show with him, didn't you? On I think like
yeah. I did a lot of things with him, but he used to fly me and Chubbs out. And this is 2016, early 2017. This is, and he used to say, so at the time PewDiePie was like delving into his like Filthy Frank sort of, you know what I mean? Like he used to sort of do Filthy Frank level content, like he was getting edgier. And obviously I was like the pinnacle of edge at the time. I just started getting my views, getting my momentum, and I was, you know, doing this proper edgy content. And so was Chubbs as well. So it's sort of, I'd say, like a slightly lesser extent, obviously. And it was Adam Scardo's Minecraft who said, be careful about him, because I think, this is about PewDiePie, I think, and this is going to fucking just put my ego through the roof when I repeat this to you, but he said, I think PewDiePie is trying to latch on to you two, as in me and Chubbs, because he wants to get a hold of this edgy content, because this is a big thing right now, because edgy content made a big boom on YouTube at this time, like really, you know what I mean? Like,
oh, how times change.
Literally, people like Will and E, who are fucking squeaky clean now, and you wouldn't have thought it. Will and E got big bullying kids, you know what I mean? And that is literally what it was. And you know, people forget these things, and that's what it was. That's what we're getting people big. That was the grind to do. So Scardo's Minecraft said to us, be careful about PewDiePie, because I reckon he's a guy who's just trying to latch on to your sort of, not latch on to our success, obviously, because he's fucking PewDiePie, but he was trying to latch on to what we were doing so he could do his own sort of
innovate your.
He thought he was looking at us just so that he could sort of do it himself in a different way and then be done with us.
Almost like inspiration.
Yeah, well that wasn't the case, because even after PewDiePie stopped doing the edgy content, I still messaged him for advice and shit. So I messaged him about there was a situation I was in where one of these partnership companies that I used to be with my channel, you know, like a YouTube partner. Where you partner your channel to earn money. They owed me a lot of money, a couple of grand. And I was talking to PewDiePie about it, and he was saying, just go with Google, you'll earn more money, you'll get better premium ads, you'll get this, you'll get that. Just do Google and fuck these partnerships off, because you don't need them. The only reason you need them is if your channel gets into trouble, and then if that happens, I've got YouTube contacts, you know people who've got YouTube contacts, and that was like some of the best advice anyone gave me on YouTube ever, you know what I mean, to this day, because I got rid of the partnerships then, and then I made a lot more money just doing Google AdSense, and that was it. So, but yeah, aside from that period, I don't actually have a contact for him now. We used to speak over like Skype and Twitter.
Skype, a classic.
Yeah, two things I don't use anymore, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, that's fair. No, I mean, it's just one of those things. I was genuinely more interested in if that was complete bollocks or not, and I think the fact it's not bollocks is just entertaining in itself. The fact that
one more little thing. Sorry to
That's
interrupt
all
you, but I think you want to know about this one. This is a bit of drama when it comes to PewDiePie. Not
Clickbait title. Clickbait title.
Yeah. So I'm sure you're aware of Syndicate.
Yeah.
You know, Syndicate from Manchester. Yeah. Basically, what had happened is, so in like 2016, I was bigger on Twitter than I was on YouTube. So I had like 40,000 followers on Twitter and only like 30,000 subs.
Man, that's pain. That's pain.
Yeah, but at the same time, I was sound with that because I was just like, yeah, I'm known. This is how I've got the connections I've got. You know what I mean? This is how I got the connection from all that. And then obviously YouTube was set to take off soon after. But at the time, that was how it was. And there was obviously, you know, the edgy humour was rife back then, and there was something to do with Syndicate, and he was involved in that CS:GO Lotto stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So he was scamming people pretty much. That's pretty much what it was. And he had messaged someone I spoke to personally, like someone called Max Mofo, right?
Yeah.
And he had not messaged, he had tweeted at him and said something sarcastic to Max Mofo. So I replied, and I was just like, let's hope you don't get raped in prison or something like that. Yeah, it was something quite bad, but that was just, and obviously got a load of likes, a lot of retweets. People were like, what the fuck, Brad? But it just went through. And a couple of hours later, I got suspended. Now, this is back when Twitter did not suspend you for saying things like that. Like, obviously, nowadays, you'd just be gone. But back then, different kettle of fish. So it was quite obvious. People back in the day, especially YouTubers, had quite big contacts at Twitter. And it was quite obvious that it was sort of a little message and then bang, my account was gone, because there was no war, it was nothing like that. So I made a video about Syndicate, and I made a new Twitter account and all of this. And he ended up messaging me Syndicate, and he was just like, you know what, fair enough, I actually apologise because that video was piss funny. I'm like, all right, fair enough. Now, I was so upset that he messaged me this, because a day or two before, I was speaking to PewDiePie about the situation, and obviously he was just like, well, I've got beef with Syndicate because of like a business deal that went wrong,
right?
Or like whatever it was, but they had beef back then. And PewDiePie said, if he keeps it up, if he keeps going at you, because obviously like he was just suspending my accounts, and we thought maybe it'd be a trend, he just tries to suspend everything I do. PewDiePie said, if he keeps it up, he keeps going at you and Billy as in Chubbs, then you two can come on my channel and we'll make like a roast video on him, like a joke video, and like we'll do this video on him. So he's just like, but only if he keeps it up. If he keeps going at you, we can't do it from nothing. But if he keeps going at you, then we'll use it as like, you know, he's going after these small YouTubers just because they're making jokes about him, blah blah. And the day after PewDiePie said that to me, Syndicate comes in my DMs. He's like, Brad, I'm so sorry, that video was hilarious. I'm like, you cunt.
Yeah.
Why could you not just be a prick?
Yeah.
Why could you not be
I would have been happier if you were still being an arsehole. Like, that's rough. Yeah. And people don't realise that like 40k Twitter followers back then as well is a fucking lot. That was big numbers for back in the day. Like,
I don't see it because I'm only 17, but Tay, you're what? You're 19?
Yeah.
And
should
Brad,
know that.
You're 21?
21.
Yeah, 21. So I thought I don't, because I've only just started using Twitter this year, so I don't really see it as much. But it's just a weird.
Oh, Twitter's a lot different now, but back then, like
it was just 40k was big numbers, and the thing is, you could say anything. I feel like that was the appeal of Twitter when it first came around, is the fact that you could say absolutely anything in a public space, and 9 times out of 10, you ain't even gonna get a slap on the wrist.
And you could say anything to anyone as well, you know what I mean? So
yeah, because everyone had Twitter. That's the thing. Everyone had it.
Exactly, and it was that only platform where you could actually, like, you could tweet it to someone famous and they could see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could tweet at anyone. That was the appeal. But yeah, Twitter's big, a lot different now.
Speaking of your Twitter getting suspended, obviously, you've always had a bit of trouble with YouTube when it comes to videos coming down or even them stopping you completely. If you had to name one video which you were the most disappointed about ever being taken down, could you name it?
There's not been that I mean, there's not been that many like videos that have been took down. I think like maybe 4 or so. I'll have to think about that. Oh well, there was one that I didn't think was justified. And, it was a trans woman, and she was she made a very bait video about how it was like, if you're not attracted to trans people, or if you don't date a trans person, you are transphobic.
Oh, I remember this one. This is
yeah. And her name was like Riley something, right? And genuinely, surprisingly enough, with my track record, I didn't make any jokes that were directed towards her being trans. I made jokes about her appearance. I made 1 or 2 jokes about her appearance. I called her like a heart or something, which wasn't even comparable to anything I was doing at the time. But that was one of the main videos at that time that actually had some substance, because I was making a genuine response about like, this is bullshit. You cannot dictate to people that they are, you know, that they're a part of a hateful group, a hateful sort of type of people, just because they're not attracted to you. That is all sorts of mad. So that was my attitude, and then obviously that just that got took down. That got me a strike, and I was just like, you know what I mean? That was very. And then more recently, the one that got took down recently didn't get me a strike, it got me a warning from YouTube, but that just sets a precedent. So that one was tame as anything compared to things in the past, and the fact that got took down. That first one was the one I was like, that's mad, but the one recently, that's just that was just like, I'm done with this site. I'm not putting any more money into this site. Obviously, I still do streams, but I don't do it through YouTube, so YouTube made nothing out of it. So I'm just like, I'm done with it all.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame, because it's hard to say it, but like, let's be realistic. All of society, like majority of them, everyone just became a snowflake overnight. I swear. Like, it went from you could say anything and do anything. Maybe people would disagree with you and not find you funny, but they'd just move on and find their own kind of humour with someone else.
That is the thing with offence. If you are offended, you know, and people always try and twist it as like, oh, well, you're saying I can't be offended and I can be offended at what I want. That's very true. You can be offended at whatever the fuck you want. But a normal person, a normal someone who's not just trying to start an argument everywhere they go, will get offended and move on. And they'll go, I don't like this, so I'm no longer going to look at it. But nowadays, it's this trend.
I don't like this, so you have to apologise to me.
I don't like this, so you cannot do it. My opinion is gospel. You know what I mean? It's not subject to opinion. It's objective. I don't like it, so it's offensive.
It's fucking offensive,
you know what I mean? It's
cancel culture, mate. It's shit.
I'm going to jumble one of the questions up, Tay. You're going to hate me for this now, but you had some problems with True Geordie, which I can see why you did, because I rewatched the video today on my lunch break, and he was just spewing bollocks, wasn't he, with the Vidal video, and it was just like, I've got this thing with True Geordie where it's like, I like his podcasts, but sometimes he jumps the gun and tries to play like this godly figure on YouTube, and I don't really see why.
I think my main problem with the True Geordie was how he sort of lambasted me as like a racist, but also sort of acknowledging that what I did was a joke. So if he wanted to turn around and say, you know, Brad's made this joke, I think it's disgusting, and I think you shouldn't joke about that. And it is what it is. That's his opinion. But what he did was he acknowledged the fact that it was a joke multiple times. This is what actually just led me to do a response, and I think I did it really well with that video. I think I really shut it down, and it was a situation where he was like, you know, I can accept he's joking about this, and it wasn't. It's a mad joke, you know what I mean? It was a bit mad.
There was lines, and it was close to the line. It was,
but it still definitively was a joke. You know what I mean? Like, that is it. And even he acknowledged it. I mean, as much as someone could say, I really didn't like that, that is fair. But you can't take away from the fact that it's a joke. You just can't justify it like an agenda. You know what I mean? So, so obviously he acknowledged that it was a joke, and then went on to say oh, it's racist, you know what I mean? They just go out to like, oh, this is racism, this is a racist attack. You've just said it's a joke. So that was really what sort of got me. It was sort of like, you know, the meaning of what I did switched to you just so you could peddle out your agenda.
Yeah.
And that was where I was just like, nah, it's not that. You're not doing that with me, mate. I know, because obviously he said he was unaware of me. I'm like, I know you're unaware of me. You're gonna fucking be aware of me now because I'm gonna switch this on you. You're not doing that with me. And yeah, obviously I came back to that with. And his comment section on that was very, very, very supportive of me once I got my points across.
Yeah.
Like, very supportive.
Well, yeah. It's because I think when he uploaded his video, it was very much so just you're racist. Where it's like, it's not. It's like what you said. It is the shock value of it that makes it funny. Like, it's one of those ones where when you say it, it's kind of like a, oh my god, he's just said that, so you laugh.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue for anyone to find that shit funny who doesn't, you know, sort of go with that humour. That's fine, and that's not my argument. You can look at me and think I'm fucking very unfunny, and that is your opinion. But once you start changing the meaning of things I've said and changing the intentions to suit your sort of like agenda, that's when it's a problem to me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's when I'm sort of just like, no.
I feel like,
you know what I mean?
the best way I can put it is, just because I've played football a couple times for my football team, does it make me a professional footballer?
Yeah, it is as simple as that.
Yes. You're not. Just because all three of us, we can all openly admit, we've made comments about people of different minorities and stuff, all for entertainment purposes. Like, it doesn't mean I instantly dislike this minority or I want to oppress them. Me, I've my fair share, but it's one of those things. It's about being funny and getting people entertained. And if you're not entertained, that's all right. Hell, even make a comment that you didn't enjoy it, but don't, like, that's what the dislikes button for. But don't try claim that someone is what they're not and someone is a bad person because they've done one thing that you deem as not good. That's my best way to sum it up.
Yeah, I'd agree.
We've got a game for you, Brad. It's only a very short one, but we've set one up for you. Just because I thought with you, of all YouTubers, this game would have fit perfectly with. So we've gone for the extremely creative name of Brad Or Banter. And I've got 5 quotes here. And you have to figure out if you said them or if you didn't.
Alright, okay.
So obviously they're in a completely random order.
Oh, God.
We've got 5 for you. And we're going to go from the beginning. So, Clara Baby Legs, Fanny, looks like Chewbacca with a cleft palate. Brad or Banter?
See, I did make jokes about it, but I don't think I would have said cleft palate. I just don't think that's me. So, Banter.
That's absolutely correct. See, this one I just slightly edited a real quote just because it had me creasing. The real quote is, Clara Baby Legs has a clitoris the size of a flaccid penis.
Yeah.
And that had me dead. Alright, the second one, 1 for 1. Everything's looking different for Logan this time. He has a spastic Kim Jong-un in his corner.
I think that was me.
You're absolutely correct. That was you. I feel like when I was going through to look at some of these things, that one popped up and I was like, he'll probably know it's him, but I can't leave it out after hearing it.
all this quiz is going to prove is how self-obsessed I am because I'm just going to know everything about myself. It's just going to prove how fucking... How my head is just revolved around me. I'm just so up myself.
Yeah. I would argue that's not the case, but you know, if that's how you want to look at it. Number 3, you're 2 for 2. Very simple one, this one. Sometimes I like to put jam on my anus and just rub it.
No.
I can confirm, Brad, that was you. You did say that. Sometimes I like to put jam on my anus and just rub it. This was from a 2-minute Minecraft video you uploaded 4 years ago.
Oh,
literally named Jam Anus.
Oh God. Oh
Ah.
God. Yeah. No. Mate,
So-
I was a lot different back then. I cringe at me.
It was one of those quotes where I was going through. This is what I was going through your old videos for, because I didn't want to make it easy for you, but I was going through them, and I just saw a video that said something like "jam a noose," and I was like, "Well, I'm gonna find something here." There's no doubt in my mind, and I absolutely did.
The old ones I won't know. I think I blocked all that out of my fucking memory. I'm just like, when I did Minecraft,
Minecraft, what? Not a game. Number 4, you're 2 for 3, so you're still not doing bad at all. You were so sexually naive when your girlfriend asked for 69, you cooked her chow mein.
No way.
No, that was not you. That was, I think, Jimmy Carr, to be quite honest. I was just looking for not true ones to put in there because it would defeat the game if they were all real. And the last one. So you're 3 for 4. Can you make it 4 for 5? You could be a mammal and still be the fat bloke. You'd have to head towards the ocean before you can say, "All right, pal, I'm skinny."
Yeah, me. I think. If that's not me, you've done that really well to make it sound like it was me.
It was not you. That was me.
Really?
It was me, yeah.
Well,
What?
I
What is
changed
that?
it 'cause the original one said guy, and you don't.
Yeah,
say guy.
I said guy, and Adam made me change it to. Well, he just said he wouldn't
that-
say guy, so I changed it to bloke. So there was collaboration on that one, but yeah, that was not you. So you went 3 for 5, still positive, not bad.
Do you know what? That just makes it seem like I'm not as self-obsessed.
Exactly.
I'm
So
sounding
exactly,
fucking very
it's gone down well with everyone. So yeah, you got the Clary Baby Legs one, you've got the Logan Paul one, and you got one that was me and wasn't you. But yeah, but you heard it here first. Sometimes Brad Does Banter likes to put jam on his anus and just rub it.
I was a weapon. I delete those old videos if it wasn't for the fact that it just shows progression.
Yeah,
I
you
just
can't
don't
not.
care.
It just is you. It is your
can't-
childhood.
Exactly, and you can't be embarrassed about where you've come from because it just is
Yeah.
what it is. I used to make jokes like that, and it's awful.
It's one of those. They're there to cringe at that point. Like that's what they're for. Because, I mean, if I were me, and I've still got all my videos up from when I was 12 years old, but I will never delete them because I know one day
It's the best way to be, mate. It's the best way to be.
I'm gonna be 30 and I'm gonna go, fuck me, do you remember this? And just watch it, and it's gonna be one of the best 10 minutes of my life because it's just gonna be funny.
Yeah, literally.
But obviously, while it was only 5 years ago and still somewhat recent, don't want to know. But yeah.
Next question. This kind of links with the kind of like the whole beef you have with different people. What happened? So with Dom, your old mate Dom, I don't know whether you are mates with him now, but I remember the video he uploaded, and I remember watching it and just going, he's just talking bollocks. Because he was just basically trying to say that you were some big horrible monster, and it was basically a big like YouTuber sob story, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A lot less views than most.
Yeah, so context, obviously, Dom so I first met Dom when he came on a live stream end of 2018, donated, and at this point, it was when I first started streaming again, and I had no money, like I was fucking broke as fuck, because it was just off the back of like, so I couldn't stream because of something YouTube had put in place on my channel. And this thing had lifted, so I could now stream again. And you know, it was a situation where I had no money. I was living off Patreon at the time. It was when I made a video saying, "Oh, I fucking make no ad revenue, Patreon, blah blah." And this is a time when I was still getting over 100,000 views a video, but it was just a situation where YouTube was like demonetizing everything. Like that's just how they were. And they're really nothing like that now, which is a shame. But at that point, that was how they were. So I was offering my head to be shaved for 400 quid, just 400 quid.
And now it's just 20 quid, mate. Off it goes.
And then I get a donation, like a £10 donation, and this was for like a prank call. So it was Dom, but he had done a donation where I just ring him up and he just said, "Yeah, this is my mate, just call him a fairy." So I rang this guy up and I said this, and then there's Dom down the phone. He's just like, but obviously I didn't know him. He's just like, "Right, here's the thing. I will put £400 in your bank right now because Streamlabs isn't working. I want that hair off." So I'm just like, "Right, sound, put it in." So he put £400 in when I sent him my details, and then my razor wasn't working. So he said, "Right, I tell you what, we'll cut a deal. We'll make a video out of it, and I'll give you like the amount you get out of a brand deal." So we agreed on like, I think I put the title for this video, and like I got paid £2,000, but we agreed on like 1.2. So he gave me 1,200 quid for this. So I went up to Newcastle, and I had some friends in Newcastle. So I met up with them, and then we met up with Dom. And then obviously,
when the video got loaded with Josh and that.
No. That was earlier on. Right. That was earlier on in the year, and then I went up and met him, and then you know, we got on like a house on fire. To be fair, we became really good friends, and obviously he shaved my head, and I was going through it a bit at the time. I just broke up with my ex, but it was very messy. A lot of things were very messy. So I was just like in the sort of mindset to just like drink all the time and just go out and Dom had a load of money, and Dom was like, you know, Dom loved that sort of lifestyle. So me and him like clicked, because I was in a situation where I was just like, right, let's get pissed. We went to Amsterdam, we went to all these different places, just drinking everywhere. And yeah, it was sick, and we got on like a house on fire. But Dom is one of them where he's a bit like sociopathic in a way, I'd say, where he doesn't understand sort of limits. I'm not saying as jokes, I'm saying as like bringing personal things out about people. So what he did, I can't really go into it because it defeats the purpose of like, I was so mad because he brought this up publicly, but he did something. This is many months ago. This is going back last year, like 2019, where he donated to my stream, and he put in a donation something about like my family, just to sort of get like a reaction out of me. So I'd be really mad.
This was when he posted one at your mum's name or something like that. And
yeah, it was somewhat on that level, but it was sort of worse. Yeah. And I was just like, right, that's it. So me and Dom didn't speak for a while, and then we got friendly again like 6 months later. And then he did a similar thing again on one of Connor's streams. He did like the same sort of thing.
The one that I watched, yeah.
So I was just like, right, that's it now. I'm done with these people. And Connor at the time had like booted me off my podcast channel. But the beef between me and Connor wasn't really that deep. It was just he was so associated with Dom. I was just like, right, I'm done with it. I just can't be arsed with it. It's fucking, the disrespect is just mad. No, I'm not doing it. So obviously it looked on the surface like it was something between me and Connor, but really it was between me and Dom. And he made a video sort of just like defending Connor and like defending the video I made on Connor. It wasn't a video on Connor. It was just on my second channel. I said, this is why I'm leaving my podcast. This is what happened. And it was a fair video, in my opinion. Even Connor, who the video was on, thought it was a fair video, you know, when we became mates again. But Dom sort of just did this out of like spite and to sort of back up Connor. And Dom's video on me, which, like you say, was a bullshit video, was the reason me and Connor got talking again, because I just messaged him. I'm like, what's going on with Dom? Like, why is he doing this? And Connor was like, mate, I fucking don't know. I literally told him not to. Like, it's just retarded now. So Dom was fighting Connor's battles, and then through that, me and Connor became mates again. Obviously, now we live together, and Dom just sort of. I mean, I've got nothing against him. Him and Connor are mates. I've got no real ill will against him. I just don't really have time for him because of certain things he did, and he's very funny, Dom. Right? He's hilarious. This is why I got on with him so well. In private,
good, to be fair.
Yeah, in private, mate, the guy is fucking hilarious. I'll never take that away from him. But as a person, there's just certain things he does or has done where I've just been like, right, you are a fucking weird little guy. And from that, if I see you in person, I'm gonna fucking smash your face up. You know what I mean? That was my attitude towards him. Now it's more like is what it is. But at the time, I really was not happy with him. And that's I know that's sort of like, I didn't really go properly into what he did, but it sort of defeats the purpose if I talk about it more, you know what I mean? So but that's basically the situation with Dom. Yeah. And then he deleted that video. I don't even think he does that channel anymore.
No, he
when he
doesn't.
did that video. Yeah. That exactly, mate.
It is. There's another one. You talk about this a lot in your streams. Your ghost stories and the fact that there's some new ones in that flat. So what's happening with the ghosts in your flat then?
The shit about the things in the flats, I think, I obviously like to do these stories and that because people like them and they're entertaining. Nothing's happened until until a week ago. And shit with the lights and that. Me and Connor both were a bit freaked out, but it could probably be put down to different things, right? With the flat. Now with it, my mum's. Something really fucking weird did happen.
It happened on stream once. I remember watching it on stream. I think it was your like cupboard door or something at one point. Everyone was just sat there watching it, and it was just like
I promise you that house is fucking haunted. I don't even think it's the house. I think it's my mum. My mum's siblings did like Ouija boards and shit when they were younger, and since then my mum's seen shit like all her life.
Yeah.
But she sort of like sweeps it under the rug because it terrifies her, so she doesn't like talking about it or anything like that. But it started when she was a toddler and she thought she saw her brother and sister, and this is her first memory. She thought she saw her brother and sister at the end of the bed. She saw these two like kids sort of like under the covers hiding from her, and then she kept trying to shout her brother and sister, saying, "Stop it, you scare me." Whatever she was saying, she was like young, so however she said it, she was like maybe 3 years old. And then her mum came up and was just like, "What's up?" And these figures had just gone, and she's like, "Oh, Margot and Andrew are underneath. This is the siblings. Margot and Andrew are underneath the duvet." And her mum was like, "They're downstairs." And I think that was the first thing that she was like, that set it off then. So that obviously really scared her. And that was a really old house they were in back then. So this is like the 70s. But that house was like already fucking 100 years old at the time, whatever it was. And then from that, the most convincing thing that's ever happened to me in my mum's house was I was doing a stream one night, and it was, when was it? Like probably 2 and a bit years ago. It was again when I first started streaming, around the time when Dom had donated, around that time. And yeah. So I was doing this stream this night, and at the time, my my granddad was dying. My mum's dad was dying, and my mum was in a really bad way with it because she was sort of certain family. He was in a hospice on his like last legs, and but what was worse was certain family members were sort of losing their minds a bit about it. Like her mum was going a bit fucking nuts at the time. She's fine now, thank fuck. But at the time, she was going a bit nuts, and everyone was going a bit fucking mental. And my mum was like the glue keeping everyone together. So essentially, I had done this live stream and I was really drunk. I was gin drunk, right? I was shot in fucking pink gin. I got through a bottle, right? So I was very drunk. But the thing is with me, obviously I'm a big guy. I'm a bigger guy now, but still a big guy. I can take drink quite well, right? So I don't forget things when I'm drunk. It's never anything like that. That never happens to me. I mean, it has on a few occasions. But so this happened after a stream. So obviously I was so drunk that I went downstairs for food, and there's a picture of my mum's sister on a fridge. Now my mum's sister died 15 or so years ago, 16 years ago, whatever it was. So there's a picture of my mum's sister that's always been on the fridge, right? Which is my auntie. So because I was so drunk and I was in the house alone, my mum was at a boyfriend's who lives down south. So I was in the house alone. And I went up to this picture, and I simply said, I went on like a 1 minute rant to it, and I just said, look, if there is someone watching over my mum or whatever, just please give her the strength to sort of just see this through with her dad and with the family, with my nan and everything like that, just because she's got so much put on her shoulders. I don't think she's talking about a lot of it right now. And this rant may have lasted for like 1 or 2 minutes, right? The millisecond I finished talking, I hear a crash in the hallway. Now it's 3 a.m. No windows are open, obviously. It was like November time, it's freezing. you know, there was no drafts or anything like that in that house. It's only like a 20-year-old house, so it's not faulty or anything. It's quite a new build. Nothing could have caused this. Like there was no reasonable explanation at all. It was basically what was in the hallway was all these boxes built up, right? And just boxes on boxes filled with stuff. Like they couldn't move. They weren't in a place where they could just tipple over. They weren't on like a knife's edge where they could just go like that. They were all piled up, right? The millisecond I stopped speaking to this picture, the fucking boxes, mate, comes crashing down. Like all come crashing down in the hallway. I'm like, what the fuck? So I very silently, I wasn't scared, but I was very like in a state of shock.
You knew what it was in a sense, like
yeah, there was a burning anxiety. So I sort of just got my food. That was priority. Got my food silently and went upstairs, and I immediately came on Discord and I said it to my mate Josh. I think maybe Connor was in the call as well. I said, look, this has happened, and they were just like, fucking hell. And Connor was more like, oh Christ, because Connor at this point had stayed at my house quite a few times, and he's sort of seen things in the house, and so he was a bit like, oh Christ, okay, that's fucking mad, because that was the most convincing thing at that point that had ever happened, and since then that's the most convincing thing that's ever happened. But that's it. That's the one thing for me where, I mean, you can take everything else that's happened to me or whatever, whether it's like hearing footsteps or whatever, and you could always like find some sort of explanation for it. You know what I mean? You if you tried hard enough, you always could. It will be one of those things where if you wanted to believe in ghosts, then obviously you believe it was a ghost, but otherwise you find an explanation. But with this, it was something where even to this day, even if I try to say to myself, you know what, it is bullshit. Paranormal shit is bullshit. Like there's so many factors that say it's not real. I cannot fucking put it down to anything, mate. I can't. I really cannot. The shit came crashing down, and it was all heavy boxes, and it had been like that for 3 weeks. And the millisecond I stopped speaking to this picture, it all comes crashing down. I'm like, nah.
Middle of this year, Tayler knew I was going a bit loopy at one point. It was fun times. I shaved my. I was just going, yeah, fuck it. Shaved it all off. It's gone.
Was this like lockdown time?
Oh yeah, fully. It was fully just I'm done. Yeah. But I remember because when I was younger, I say younger, I'm 17. When I was like a lot younger.
You're 17.
17.
Oh Christ! Okay.
Yeah. But when I was younger, I used to suffer from sleep paralysis like a lot, and that's the only way that people could describe it. It's just that because I just wake up screaming, and my mum couldn't wake me up, things like that. That was all they could describe it as. And then early 2020 or halfway through, when I was having a shit time, I wasn't sleeping. I was going to sleep at like 9 in the morning, and then sleeping until like 6, and it was all just kind of fucked. And I remember I'd be lying there some nights, and I must have fallen asleep at some points, but I was like in a state where I couldn't sleep, and it was weird because this chair's always been here, but it was a different chair then. But all I can ever remember is my granddad passed when I was like 6, and it was one of those ones where he was like basically could have been a dad kind of thing. So obviously I'm close with my dad, but it was like the same kind of situation.
Yeah.
And all I used to remember seeing when I couldn't sleep was just my door opening, and he'd just walk in and just sit there, and he'd just kind of sit there, and then I'd just go to sleep. I haven't told Tay this. That's why he's looking like that. But it was one of those ones where it's like, I want to believe it was something, but also it could have been because obviously I've had stuff in the past when I was younger. It's almost could have been a paedophile. Well and truly could have been a paedophile.
Could have been a real person.
Yeah, but I always just think that's a bit of a weird one for me. Where it's like,
yeah, that's. I mean, what vibe did you get when that happened? Like, what sort of like?
It was always. I went to sleep straight away after that.
Like a protection thing.
It was quite nice,
like, yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Which is why I don't think it was sleep paralysis, because my sleep paralysis when I was younger.
It's a lot different. Yeah, I know, mate. Yeah, no, sleep paralysis is different. Yeah, that's mad. That is mad. Mm. Mm. You, you don't believe in aliens? Do you know how big this universe is, mate? Yeah, yeah. Or maybe even like insects and that. Maybe like, uh, yeah, yeah, like organisms and shit. Yeah, 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 yeah. Agreed, agreed. Yeah.
And I've spoken to him, and he doesn't scare easily. Well, he's not big, but he's not like a big bloke. He's just got a demeanor about him where it's like he walks in and it's like, yeah, the confidence just oozes from him that he would just welly you. Just
And obviously not the superstitious type either. I'm guessing. Yeah, yeah. So that for me is when it sort of rings home when it's not the sort of person who would believe in stuff like that, and they think, "Oh shit, this happened." You know what I mean? Like that's when it sort of rings something in your red where you just like, yeah,
like I
yeah,
say, my my dad's got stuff like that because Tay, you see my dad. He's a big bloke, and he used to be a bouncer when he was younger, and he worked in this club called it's called the Coliseum, and it was an old club when he worked there. Like it shut down. It shut down the it shut down the year that I was born. And he said he just used to remember like just obviously he would be like one of the last ones to leave because he was closing up. All the bouncers stayed like to the very end, and they would just see stuff like pool cues would fall over. Well, he says fall over. He says that they'd be like thrown across rooms. They'd like the balls from the pool tables would go into like the slots, things like that. And he just used to say that he wasn't superstitious until he worked at that club. He's like until that point. After that, it was just there's got to
yeah,
be something there. Like
yeah. Mhm. Right.
yeah, I have sex a lot. I have a lot of sex in this room, guaranteed. There's a lot of it. It's not. Oh, that's not a lot.
What? So I'll just show you something. What is that? What you mean? Or
You,
I
it,
choose
it could
something?
be anything.
Uh, hold on. Let me look on my desktop really quick. Yeah, have this. This is going in your Hall of Fame. This is James Marriott doing a nice little smile for everyone. A nice cheesy grin from James Marriott. There you go.
From the man himself.
Not a problem, mate. Not a problem at all. It's been a good talk, mate. I wish you the best of luck with the podcast. I would say get some lighting sorted for both of you.
Yeah.
Like a box light or something. I know mine's not even the best right now because I've only got one. But if you get 2 box lights, I'd say that's sound, and you'll take off, and you'll really do something. Even with just this format, just as long as you get your lighting sorted, and like people can actually just like this, and then you sound. I live stream on the Brad Does Banter YouTube channel. Watch them. Donate to me. Give me money.